Let's go back to July 2018. I just finished watching season 9 of Ninjago and decided to make a little review video about it. Now at the time my videos were really bad, including this one, so it and many others were deleted by me, making them lost media in a way. But I've grown nostalgic for my early years of YouTube, including this subject matter. So today, I'll be looking back at why I think so highly of Ninjago Season 8, 9, and 10, which are known as the Oni and Dragon Trilogy. This is for those who aren't aware or into Ninjago. It's a LEGO theme that began in 2011 and is still going strong to this day. Pretty much, a team of ninja of elemental powers stop the season's villain before it's too late. The TV show linked to it is surprisingly good, with amazing voice actors and plot lines that have kept it relevant. The quality was pretty consistent until after season 6. That season was really good, as expected, but not so much with the TV special that came afterwards. It was called Day of the Departed, and aired near Halloween 2016. The sets were really good, but the special was mediocre at best. This was mainly due to the fact that the Ninjago movie was supposed to come out around that time, but was pushed back by an entire year. So the creators of the show had to think fast and give the fans of Ninjago something for that second half of the year. The plot and setup is honestly not that bad, but what falls flat for it is the execution. At the time, this really just seemed like a minor hiccup that can easily be fixed in season 7, which came out in early 2017, and it was a bigger mess, including the sets linked to it. I already watched it not too long ago for this video, and all I remember were these time twins, the annoying Vermilion generals, and this awful scene.
So tickly, so terribly awful.
I like her. She's mean. Sounds like someone has a crush. I do not.
What? What the?
The movie finally premiered in September 2017 and did not do that well, especially compared to the two LEGO movies that came before it. It barely made twice its budget back and had mediocre review scores from critics. Honestly, it's still an okay movie, but the criticisms presented are justified. However, these sets are astounding. Kinda wish I got more of them, but I do own the two biggest sets, Destiny's Bounty and the $300 Ninjago City. At this point, the series needed something amazing to bounce back and keep it in the limelight, and what came next in 2018 did just that. This season felt very fresh when compared to the previous ones. Most obvious are the character designs. They made a few modifications for the ninjas' designs, which reflect their appearance in the movie. The movie isn't canon, but they probably did this not to confuse younger audiences. Also, a slight redesign also helped establish a new beginning for the series. They made Zane more robotic and modern. Kai, Cole, and Jay have bigger hair. Nia did too, which looks a lot better than her old design. And finally, there's Lloyd. Many were upset that the character's original voice actor was replaced. He was originally played by Jillian Michaels since Lloyd started out the series as a young child. But as the series went on, a change was needed. He is now voiced by Sam Vincent, who makes him sound like his actual age. Also, his voice is definitely needed for some of the more emotional moments for his character.
Who are you? Princess, I thought you were kidnapped. I was trying to save you.
Was that what that was?
So the plot of the season revolves around a new gang of villains known as the Sons of Garmadon. They worship the Lord of Destruction, aka Lloyd's father, and wish to bring him back from the dead to rule Ninjago. And to do so, they must collect all 3 Oni masks, which are these powerful relics from Ninjago's early days. For all of this, the ninja were mostly focused on finding Wu. In the previous season, he was lost in time after finishing off the Time Twins, but this plotline is forgotten once the first Oni mask is taken, known as the Mask of Vengeance. What I like about the story's start is how it cuts to the chase. By the end of the second episode, with an awesome chase scene, the SOG now possess 2 masks, being the Mask of Deception. Now, Ninjago is a mostly lighthearted series with 1 or 2 darker moments, but these 3 seasons definitely go all out with them. These ideas are first seen with how the SOG blew up the entire Jade Palace, killing all that are inside. So now the orphan Princess Harumi joins a ninja as to locate the 3rd mask, the Mask of Hatred.
The Emperor and Empress? Where is Hutchins? Did they...
I'm sorry, Princess. They didn't make it.
So let's talk about the Sons of Garmadon a bit more real quick. Originally it seems like their leader is this dude, Mr. E, but the other 2 generals, Kilo and Ultraviolet, point out throughout the season that it is instead the Quiet One. Of course, we don't know who that is at first, but it is soon revealed. The reason why this trilogy is called the Oni and Dragon trilogy is due to a new theming. Mistake retells the story of Lloyd's grandfather, the creator of Ninjago. He is part Oni and Dragon, and left the first realm because of their duality. The two sides pretty much fought over him like a divorced couple. Also, I had to mention how amazing the soundtracks are during this season. The particular highlight, made by Jay Vincent and Michael Kramer, is the SOG theme. It is used a few times during some chase and action scenes, and never becomes old. Other scores are used to make things interesting, which you should check out. A couple of months ago, a YouTube channel called JVC22 started uploading complete soundtracks from every single season. Beforehand, it was harder to locate these. Only soundtrack pieces from the first 2 seasons were actively available on YouTube, and those are great, especially with pieces like The Falcon Chase, but the soundtrack would evolve more and more to be increasingly unique. Now from this point forward, I'm pretty much just going to be discussing major spoilers, so if you don't want to hear any of that, then go watch these seasons on Netflix. Alright, let's get back into it. So this baby that Cole finds turns out to be Master Wu. Yeah, it was a weird twist, which I'm glad they didn't reveal much about, but recently, a Ninjago Legacy short was released, which showed how he de-aged. Now the season definitely gets better and better, mainly with the final 4 episodes in it. Episode 7 is called Game of Masks. The beginning is a flashback that confirms Harumi is a quiet one. It's another great twist that happens to make a lot of sense in the series universe. Her family was killed by the Great Devourer, and the ninja were unable to stop it for the most part. Yet Garmadon was the one who killed it, so she sees him as the hero and the true ruler of Ninjago. That is some pretty understandable motivation. Eventually, she tricks Lloyd and gets the Mask of Hatred.
I love you.
Stay back.
Lloyd,
You only wanted me to get the mask you couldn't find.
I didn't need you to find the mask. It would have already been mine had your friends not stolen Wu from us.
A duel ensues and the SOG escape of Lloyd, who they will need later. This is for sure my favorite episode of the season, as mentioned in another Ninjago video I did this year. Next is Dread on Arrival, where the other 5 ninja must break into the Temple of Resurrection to stop Harumi. I like the atmosphere presented, it's very dark and moody, but besides that, it's just some action scenes where it seems the Sons of Garmadon have been stopped, and the ritual to bring back the Dark Lord failed. But this is twisted around, as in the next episode, True Potential. Garmadon is revealed to be reborn, not as his normal self, but in his Oni form, and the title refers to how his fight with Lloyd helped him reach his true potential.
You wouldn't hurt me. Your son.
I have no son.
The ninja thought they won, as they always do, but this time that might not seem like the case. The finale, called Big Trouble Little Ninjago, is a weird note to leave off on. Garmadon finally takes over the city after creating the Oni Titan. This beast is truly formidable and seemingly kills 4 of the ninja and Baby Wu, and everyone who is left must flee, as they lost. This is an interesting change-up. You are so used to seeing heroes like these winning in the end, but when they don't, it's more compelling. Now of course, this story is continued next season, but all of this was an amazing setup. It's very close to being the best season, yet one more takes that spot for me, which we'll be talking about next. But first, let's talk about the LEGO sets released alongside the show. I only ended up getting 3 of them, first being the set number 70640, the SOG headquarters, which had a unique build and even included a Spinjitzu gimmick. Also, they included Zane as Snake Jaguar, which is a reference to when he infiltrated their lair. They also got set 70642 Kilo vs Samurai X. It was a great way to get Kilo as a Big Fig and Pixel as Samurai X. Usually these large bike sets are annoying, but this is an exception. Finally, I got the 70639 Street Race of Snake Jaguar. It's the cheapest way to get an Oni mask and has a cool Mr. E figure. The other sets were fine, but I wasn't as into them. I probably should have gotten the Katana V11. It was only $20 and had a sleek design. Lloyd's car is just boring, but the temple is okay. Yet the Harumi variant in the later sets are better, and that version of Garmadon also came in a later set. Overall, a decent wave that would be topped later that summer. Here we are, the absolute best season in Ninjago. Season 8 was a great setup, letting the story fly high in order to let this season soar. To switch things up, there are two storylines set in different realms, from where things left off last time. First is a rapidly aging Wu along with the 4 original ninja who must find their way out of the first realm. It is where they traveled to using a special tea, but everyone else still thinks they're dead. Back in Ninjago, Lloyd finds this information out, and we get more setup on a resistance he and Nia are trying to create. This is all explained in the first episode, titled Firstborn. By the end of it, the Elemental Masters finally show up. Skylar and Karloff did show up in Season 7, but briefly, so it's nice to see all of them returning. Oh, and Jay, Cole, Kai are captured by a group of dragon hunters.
Lost. Are we?
The second episode is called Iron and Stone, and I remember finding this episode uploaded on Pornhub once. Don't ask, okay mates? Immediately, we are introduced to this character, Iron Baron. He sits on a throne made of the Ultra Dragon skeleton. Yep, that's dark. Really dark. We hadn't seen it in years, so the confirmation of it being killed by this guy is haunting. And without words, it is established how threatening he is. These hunters have a culture based upon using dragons, especially in fights. These 3 ninja are made to fight one, as Iron Baron believes them to be Oni. Also, another dark scene in this episode is Garmadon killing Mr. E. While he is a robot, it's still messed up. He slowly dismantles him, showing off to the other generals to not mess up, or they will have the same fate.
The whole is not more than the sum of its parts.
The third episode, Radio Free Ninjago, has a more focus on Lloyd and the Elemental Masters. That's another thing I like about this season. It knows when to focus on one storyline than the other, and when one slows down, the other picks itself back up. Anyways, the Resistance decides to sneak into Borg Tower and deliver a message of hope to the citizens of Ninjago. The best scene is with Garmadon in the hallway. Skylar uses her absorbing powers to make all of them invisible, as the Dark Lord stress-inducingly stares down at them. In the other realm, the hunters realize that they are not Oni, but Elemental Masters, so they use the 3 of them to lure dragons and hunt them. This scene, holy crap. The score is the best I've heard in any medium to this day. Just listen to this.
She's fast as the wind.
The crew have always used more obscure instruments to make some unique sounds, but this. I looked it up and the instrument that they use is called a kobz, and it's Turkish, I think I pronounced that right. Absolutely amazing. Episode 4, How to Make a Dragon. The ninja finally escaped the hunters with the help of Little Wu and fake Firstborn, and then the real Firstborn makes an appearance. Another great soundtrack moment where Kai frees this wind dragon.
What do you say we get you out of these chains?
Also, it ends on a cliffhanger with the Sons of Garmadon beginning to attack the Resistance base. Episode 5, The Guildless Path. It continues on the SOG attack as they capture many in the Resistance, but a few of them escape, including Dareth. But then we see Garmadon controlling the Oni Titan. He almost kills them, yet hesitates. He wants Lloyd gone, yet stalled. Then Pixel comes and distracts him, so they barely make it out alive. So now it's just Dareth, Nia, Lloyd, Skylar, and Mistake to carry on. And in the first realm, the ninja are found by Heavy Metal, Iron Baron's right-hand man. The catch is, he is a she. Her name is Faith, and she wishes to vanquish Baron for lying to the hunters. They set off to find the dragon armor, which Wu seems to think will control Firstborn. I really like Faith's character here. She wants what's best for her people, yet must hide her true self from them. Yet she sees this as an opportunity to change things. Hearing that Wu is the son of the first Ninjutsu master gives her hope and faith. They move on ahead, with the dragon hunters not too far behind them.
Which way?
That way.
Into the unknown. And then... Ninja!
Episode 6, 2 Lies, 1 Truth. That title is referring to Wu as he is not being honest with Faith. By the end of the episode though, with guidance from the ninja, he tells her the truth. He doesn't know where the armor is, yet they of course find out. Also, it was learned that Baron lied about the Oni. There seemingly are none in this realm anymore. Also, we get some character development for Harumi. She really hasn't been relevant in the season since Garmadon takes over the villain role, but after his failure in the last episode, he embraces her as his dark daughter. They grow closer in a weird evil way, and she sets off to find Lloyd to not disappoint her father. Then she is captured by a smart plan from the Resistance. Mistake then reveals herself to be an Oni, since they shapeshift. Episode 7, The Weakest Link. First of all, the chasing in this episode is flat out amazing. Leaves the stunning soundtrack with the Cobs where the ninja are chased by the diesel knot. Through some caves, Iron Baron learns who Wu really is.
We'll make heavy metal pay, sir! Get heavy metal! Get me the boy!
We'll never outrun them.
Earlier in the episode, Faith taught them how to use chain rifles. It's a great moment where the students teach the teacher, a fun mirror on how things were earlier in the series. They use these rifles to take control of the diesel knot, with Faith sacrificing herself. With Lloyd, they make a crazy yet brilliant plan. Skylar will absorb Garmadon's powers to control the Oni Titan, with Mistake shapeshifting into Harumi. And the absolute best episode in the trilogy, the 8th, Saving Faith. It mostly focuses on the Resistance storyline, as it got really interesting at this point. The plan worked for the most part as Skylar escapes, but Mistake is killed soon after revealing her true form and fighting Garmadon. We cut back to the first realm very briefly to establish a ninja also getting captured and Wu gaining his memories back. And he decides to go off alone with Baron in order to locate the armor. The rest of the episode is so satisfying. After gaining control, Skylar lays havoc upon the SOG and heads towards Garmadon. In the process, Harumi is trapped in a building. She helps the family avoid the same fate hers did and sees the error in her ways. She has spent the last 2 seasons trying to prevent disaster in Ninjago City, yet all she did was create a new one. As Garmadon struggles to gain control of the Titan, it destroys the building along with Harumi. Lloyd watches as she crumbles to the ground and dies. Enraged, Garmadon kneels down and proclaims he will destroy the entire city. Not only is the scene heartbreaking, intense, and action-packed, but it adds so much to this season. To me, this is the climax. Things only go downhill from here, as Garmadon is truly pissed off, and by the end of it, Skylar is poisoned by the dark power. Episode 9, Lessons for a Master. We focus more on the First Realm storyline, as this is the conclusion for it. Wu leads Baron to Firstborn's nest, where he finds the dragon armor. He of course betrays Wu and puts it on. Wu then reveals the armor doesn't have any powers to it, and says this.
You didn't really think the dragon armor is what made Firstborn obey my father, did you? It was because of his heart. She sensed goodness in him. What does she sense in you?
That is one of my favorite quotes ever. Such a good way for Wu to get some development. Oh, and Firstborn shows up, encases the poor son of a biscuit in a molten lava, and takes the ninja back to the realm. The finale, episode 10, is called Green Destiny. The ninja return home, fight off the sons of Garmadon, and make a plan to defeat the Dark Lord. Wu and Lloyd go to the tower and face him, as the rest use their dragons to tie up the Oni Titan. There's a lot of little moments here and there, as their allies pitch in. Lloyd truly learns the power of resisting, and gets his powers back. Garmadon loses his, as he only gains them through conflict, but them getting dodged with his own fighting method makes him lose. The Titan is destroyed in the process, yet Garmadon teases the arrival of the Oni due to his absence. We'll talk about that soon. Being the last season written by the Hageman brothers, it was their best effort. So much happens, yet it was brilliantly juggled. I love the themes, storyline, and the music. While looking stuff up for this video, I found some surprising similarities to the movie Thor Ragnarok. Both involved our heroes trapped in a world filled with scavengers. It is led by a madman whose underling helps them escape after a gladiatorial battle. Meanwhile, the main villain terrorizes their homeworld until they return. Obviously, this season didn't rip off the film though, as they were made around the same time. The sets were way better than season 8. 7 main ones were made, and I ended up getting 5 of them. First is Destiny's Wing, which I didn't get. It's fine for $20, but nothing special. The other $20 set was amazing, being the Throne Room Showdown. It's a fun playset with a fantastic minifigure selection. It has a new variants of Lloyd and Nia, along with cheaper ways to get the new Harumi, Samurai X, and Skylar. Stormbringer is this cool lightning dragon with a weird neck to fit some spring-loaded shooters. I still like it though, and it includes that cool Daddy No Legs figure. Next is the Oni Titan itself. I actually never got this set when it came out, yet I wanted to get it more and more. So recently, I went on eBay and discovered it goes for nearly triple its original value, but I got it for $95. The build is pretty good, and even comes with the newer Garmadon. The best value I've ever seen in a set is Firstborn. For $70 you get the tall and opposing dragon. It's on par with the Ultra Dragon while being cheaper. You even get the Dragon Hunter's helicopter. My favorite set though is the Diesel Knot, which is this cool Mad Max-like vehicle. It's also, surprisingly, the cheapest way to get Young Wu and Iron Baron. The final set I never got was the Dragon Pit. I was never really interested in it, and the only figures that stands out is Arcade. I eventually got them separately, but the setting was only in the show for 2 episodes, and I instead got the Diesel Knot. This wave also came with these Dragon Flyers, which are just okay. Now, out of the 3 seasons, this is usually considered the weakest link, but I still think it's really good, and let me explain why. So it's a lot shorter than in comparison, the only encompassing 4 episodes that make up a TV movie. These episodes are called The Darkness Comes, Into the Breach, The Fall, and Endings. So after their victory against the Sons of Garmadon, Lloyd visits his father and explains how he will never be let out. But this changes as a new threat arrives in Ninjago City, the Oni. Not just one of them, like Garmadon, but a whole army of them. And unless you have Oni blood, you will succumb to their darkness. Faith comes crashing in with Firstborn, and the ninja gear up to rescue all that they can. Garmadon is set free, as he may be the realm's only hope of survival. The Oni have already taken over the other realms, and this one is next. So the only way to stop this takeover is by destroying the Realm Crystal, which is hidden away at Boro Tower. But once they reach it, they are met by the Omega, leader of the Oni. The army attacks Garmadon and Lloyd, who manage to escape due to finding their weakness. They discover the golden armor that the Overlord created years ago. I do want to mention this plot hole though. How is Lloyd able to touch it? Only few can wield it, including Garmadon. But maybe the armor is weakened, which explains this, but yeah. Pixel then helps them escape, while the remaining team tries to rescue some pedestrians. Definitely the weakest part of this movie is what they do with Cole. They hyped up this big moment of Cole falling to his death into the darkness and having Nia slightly be at fault for it.
I got it! I think I can...
But literally not too long after, he is revealed to be alive and somehow gets this Earthshriller out of the city. The final battle takes place where Kai reforges the armor into the golden weapons from the first season. This is their only chance against the approaching army. I love this battle, but I do agree it should have gone on much longer. Cole comes back, Faith assists, and Garmadon has a duel with the Omega. They take their last stand against the Oni behind the monastery walls, but one of the murals shows a tornado creation, which sparks the idea. They create one so large it destroys the entire army. Lloyd has a dream with the first Spinjitzu master, where he decides to stay with his friends. Garmadon leaves, to which he has not been seen since. I do want to mention some things I really like from this movie. First of all, I like the intro, which shows events from the previous seasons. These murals of course inspire Lloyd with the tornado of creation. The scene of Garmadon getting his powers back is super cool, as conflict is what gives him strength. Also, the Oni have these really cool designs. I wish they were in the show more, but the original designs are better. The main problems fans have with the March of the Oni is that it's too short. It should have been expanded into 10 episodes, not 4. But even with the complaints, I still like Season 10. This is technically the series finale in a way, as the next seasons are part of a separate series. Season 11 and onwards are produced by a different animation studio and have a different running time. The Oni themselves are only in one set, a booster pack that features the Omega. I of course got it, but I was disappointed in these cool looking villains that come in any other sets. The other sets released at the time were based off Ninjago Legacy. The only two that appeared in the March of the Oni were the badass and greatly improved Monastery Spinjitzu and Cole's Earth Driller. Even with a couple of flaws, I really do adore these 3 seasons. All are still on Netflix in fact. The sets are pretty good too, as I made an effort to get as many as I can. I still have fond memories of when these episodes came out, so it meant a lot for me to do this overview video. Again, as I stated in the intro, I made a video on this topic years ago, at the start of this channel, and I regret deleting it now since that and many other videos I made around 2017 and 2018 are extremely nostalgic to me. I probably should have unlisted them instead so I can continue to make fun of myself. After Season 10 of Ninjago, we got the disappointing Season 11. It started out really badly, but the second half is underrated. But seasons like Masters of Mountain and Seabound have proved that the series is still really good, even if it has some hiccups along the way.